This is Radar from the Retain Blog coming at you with another edition of MLB Observation Week 1. If you noticed last week, I did an opening day observation video of all the games that are played Thursday. I want to point out I did not realize that there was a series that didn't play Thursday until Friday night, way after the video was recorded, so I do apologize. So let's start here. Brewers, I don't know why some days you bat Yelich third and then second. Just keep him in the 3 spot and Contreras batting cleanup. That's a very good 3 through 4. Jake Bauers pitching a blowout. I guess they had to go with someone. Sal Frelick came into a game and played third base, even though he's a platinum Gold Glove winner caliber right fielder. He's playing a lot of center recently. And it didn't matter to me if Terang is batting leadoff, second, or at the bottom, or Churio is. Just keep him there. And then Collins batting in third. I know he's a rookie and he's been on fire, but that's a little bit too high. Yankees, I don't care if it's Aaron Judge, Austin Wells, Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt. What do all four of them have in common? They're not leadoff hitters and they're not number 2 hitters. But the Yankees offense has been on fire because the Yankees strategy, let's go just our best offensive player. But then if you do that, who's batting cleanup some days? Jazz, I love Jazz personally, but he's not a cleanup hitter. He's a speed guy. Yeah, he has some pop in his bat, but he's not a cleanup or 5 hitter. Some days Judge did bat third. I'm like, thank you. But then who's his protection? His protection is supposed to be Austin Wells, Bellinger, and Paul Goldschmidt, and Stanton if he's healthy. Bellinger, we've been over this for years. He's not a center fielder still. Volpe's not Aaron Judge protection, batting 5th or 6th. He's a Gold Glove cat, shortstop. He should be at the bottom. Carrasco pitched 1 game out of the bullpen, but then started, so got course corrected. Ben Rice playing first base and batting leadoff again. He's a catcher, has no business leading off. Pablo Reyes, the super utility infielder playing the outfield, and Cabrera, infielder playing the outfield and first base when he's a middle infielder. Orioles, Kowser leading off was great. Now he's hurt. Adley still, I don't think, is a 2-hitter. Westberg has batted leadoff after batting 3rd and 4th. Westberg is not a middle lineup hitter. Adley Rutschman, he's a really good offensive catcher, and so is Gunnar Henderson when he's healthy. Those are middle lineup hitters. Mullins has no business batting 5 through 7 because what offensive value he has? He's not a power hitter. Jackson Holiday has played some shortstop and some second base, but at least he's getting to play his natural position shortstop. And O'Hearn moved into the outfield in 1 game. I know Kowser's hurt, but Kjerstad, Laureano, Tyler Neal, Cedric Mullins, it's enough outfielders. You don't have to do that. Jays, Bo Bichette leading off instead of batting middle lineup, which they did a lot last year. Good, he's a top order hitter. What's not good is Vlad is not a number 2 hitter. Vlad is either a 3 or 4, and that's why you paid all this money to Anthony Santander to be in the middle lineup. But then you're like, let's add Andres Gimenez, who had only 1 good offensive season his whole career, and bat him cleanup. That guy should either be batting 2nd or 8th, okay? And then Santander one day played left field with Springer in center, and then they played, these youngsters in the outfield. It's a mess. Every day for the Blue Jays, Miles Straw or some guy I've never heard of is playing center field. And Santander is moving between left and right. And then Springer's playing, just keep guys in the same spot. Schneider Adobe is playing the outfield. He's an infielder. But again, it looks like Wagner and utility man Ernie Clement are playing third base instead. And then Rodriguez pitched out of the bullpen because I guess he didn't make their rotation. Boston. Devers DHing is good. But we all thought that Bregman was going to play second base or Rafaela was going to play second base. What it looks like now is this Kristen Campbell guy who signed this huge extension even though he just started. That's a little bit too early in my opinion. Is played on second base. He even played the outfield even though he's not an outfielder. And batting in the middle of the lineup for a rookie is impressive. It's a little bit too high. Ref Schneider, I still have a problem with him playing the outfield and Roman Gonzalez playing first base. Duran leading off has been great, but Devers has been in a slump mostly. I think it's because, again, a lot of guys have a problem adjusting to being a DH and not playing the field, but also because he's not a 2-hitter. The game of his career is he's a middle lineup hitter. Then Texas. Simeon and Seager 1 and 2. I always have the problem thinking Seager's better offensively 3rd. Langford is batted 2nd and 3rd. I think 2nd is a good spot for him. And I love Kevin Pillar, but 7 is way too high for a glove first player. Smith is okay utility guy, but I don't want to rely on him every day to play shortstop. Hishioka, who's a backup catcher, 6 is way too high. And Ezekiel Duran, the utility man, pitched in a blowout. Philly. Trey Turner leading off one day and Harper batting 3rd. Cool. Schwarber cleanup, but it's never been the same. There's never been one day I've noticed the Phillies lineup where it's Trey Turner 1, Harper 3rd, and Schwarber 4th. Trey Turner will be batting 2nd one day. Harper will be batting 3rd a day or 2nd, and Schwarber will be leading off but not cleanup. If you're going to put this guy cleanup, just consistently do it and leave Trey Turner at the top, Harper in the middle. Kepler, who they said is going to play in left field, which I think is stupid because he's playing out of position. He's a much better outfielder than Castellano. He moved over one day to play right field. Still the Harper playing first base. I still think he can still play the outfield. Boom. If it isn't Harper batting second or Trey Turner, they've added him second. Again, he had a really good offensive year driving in runs and hitting home runs. He's not a two-hitter. Joe Ross is just extra pitching, but he's a starting pitcher pitching out of the bullpen. Stop batting 5 through 7 again. It's not his offensive game. Washington. Cedar Abrams leading off is great. James Wood batting second with Luis Garcia third. No, switch those guys. One's really, really big offensive production out of Wood is what they're expecting. Garcia makes contact. Dylan Cruz also. Second is like weird for him. He should be 6th or 7th or 8th. Ruiz batting 3rd or 4th again. He's a really good catcher, but I was thinking he should be lower in the lineup. I did like Ahmed Rosario batting second. 1. And DeYoung, again, I know they signed to be the third baseman, but instead of developing their own young talent, they're like, let's take a guy and play him out of position. Cleveland. Kwan leading off has always been a good idea. Ramirez batting second, not so much. Like Defers, he should be in the middle of the lineup. Okay? Lane Thomas, they got him to bat second. If he's not going to bat second, do not bat him 3rd through 6th. A little bit lower, because he's not a home run power guy. Junis, I guess the Cleveland has enough pitching that as a starting pitcher, he's pitching out of the bullpen. And then Daniel Schneemann is an infielder. Stop playing with the outfield. And Nolan Jones playing the outfield, but more importantly, him playing center field, he's not. Kansas City. India leading off is great. Witt second. Cool. What his problem is, India's playing third base and left field. He's playing out of position. It's just a lot. Okay? MJ Melendez still is a catcher playing the outfield and is not a great outfielder. So if you want to DH him more, I would understand that, and they probably should. Biggio, I'm glad he made the Royals roster, but he's not a first baseman or an outfielder. And Salvador Perez, I told you this. If he's not going to get the start at catcher, just DH him. Keep him fresh. And then Garcia, if he's never going to be your third baseman, maybe move on from him. He's not a center fielder. And this Tolbert guy is also not a center fielder. Mets. The Lindor, Soto being 1 and 2, and Nimmo batting 4th and 5th. I'm like, oh my God. I know Lindor had an amazing season last year batting at the top, and Soto likes to bat second sometimes. But Juan Soto, no, is a perfect 3-hitter. Maybe you want to put Lindor 2 and keep Nimmo in the leadoff spot where he makes a lot of contact. I see him draw a walk, and you go Alonso cleanup and Vientos 5th, and then you go 6th, Marte or Winker. Cool. Just this lineup construction is where then you get Tyrone Taylor or Jose Siri, Torrens, and it's just like and Acuna at the bottom, and it's not that scary, or Batty at the bottom. It's not that scary. And then Marte led off one day. I'm like, what are you doing? And Batty, they want to get his bat in the lineup, but he's not a second base. I mean, Altuve still have a problem playing left field when there was really no great guy to move him over to left field. You know, no offense to Brandon Rodgers. Like, nothing against him. Paredes, again, they got him as protection for Yohan Alvarez, but Kyle Tucker gone. And Alex Bregman, why is he batting second? Like, come on. Pena is not great protection. He's a glove first player, so don't bat him 6th. And then utility man DeCenzo, Dubone, and this Cade Smith, the youngster, all infielders by trade, but they played in the outfield. San Francisco, Lamonte Wade Jr., if he's leading off, I'm like, cool. But that was the whole point of the lead. Lee was so solidify the leadoff and center field spot, not bat third. Schmidt is not a first baseman. He's a shortstop. And he made some mistakes the other day because, again, he never played there before. And Lamonte Wade Jr. is a natural-born outfielder. Adames has corrected what he did in Milwaukee. He's batting second instead of 4th. And then Elliot Ramos made the All-Star team. You think he wanted him in the lineup to protect Matt Chapman? No, let's bat him first. Stupid. Red. TJ Friedl, they like him at the top, and McLean is healthy. Cool. But Ellie De La Cruz is an exciting player, but he's a table setter. He's not a 3-hitter. He's not Juan Soto, okay? Gavin Lux, like Jonathan India, who is no longer on the Reds because he's on the Royals, and Lux got from the Dodgers. Lux has never been a cleanup hitter, and he's not an outfielder, but they continue playing the outfield. I'm like, okay. Spencer Steer at least is DHing instead of playing the outfield. And I wrote this twice. McLean and Espinal, it didn't matter which one was batting 1 or 2, but Espinal came in, they moved Friedl out, and they moved McLean up. And then Espinal is not an outfielder, so why is he playing? He's a utility infielder. And Graham Ashcraft, I thought was going to be in the rotation, but I guess he's in the bullpen. Atlanta, Profar was leading off, which I liked. And then Riley was batting second, Albies was batting 5th, and Harris was batting 6th. And I'm like, no. Between Harris and Albies, one of them should be at the top of Profar, and Riley should be in the middle lineup with Ozuna and Olsen. And then one day Ozuna batted second. I'm like, no, what are you doing? Now that Profar got busted for PEDs, it should be Harris and Albies at the top, but whatever. San Diego, Tatis, I think he enjoys batting leadoff. He's got some good statistics. Arias is batting second, and he's like a batting champ, which makes sense. But Cronenworth is not a middle lineup hitter, but at least he's playing second base. I would say Cronenworth, if he's not at the top, he should be at the bottom. And Jackson Merrill, they just signed a new extension. He's a great player. But Manny Machado, Alexander Bogarts, and Tatis should be your 3 through 5. That's a really good 3 through 5. And if you put Merrill 6, it's not bad. It's really not. Just not what you're thinking there. And then Sheets is not an outfielder. I don't care if he's not playing right field and he's playing left field. You have youngsters on your 40-man roster, and you have Jason Hayward. Gavin Sheets should only play first base or DH. What are you doing? Angels, Ward and Shawnell batting 1 and 2, and then Shawnell moved down to 6. I'm like, cool. But the both of them are not top of the lineup hitters. It just makes no sense. You got Anderson, and you got Rengifo, and you got, Kevin Newman. Like, what are you doing? Okay, Trout batted third now with this lineup because he sometimes in the past used to bat 6, which are fine. Tim Anderson playing second base and batting 5th, not his position or spot in the lineup. Nicky Lopez pitched in a blowout on opening day, which surprised a lot of people. Parrot, when Joe Adell got hurt, the shortstop played center field. He is not a center fielder. Rengifo batted second, so that's when Shawnell moved out of 6. I'm like, I like that. But then I saw Reed Detmers and Ian Anderson pitching on a bullpen when they're starters. White Sox, Miguel Vargas had a hard time him leading off and having Robert second and Benny third because Robert is so inconsistent, not that great. Benintendi inconsistent. Those guys are not the guys you want at the top, and Benintendi seems to make more contact, so I'd rather him second. Or, one. And Vargas, they did bat in 5th or 6th a few times, or cleanup because they needed offense. He's not really a leadoff hitter. Clevenger, I'm still getting over the starting pitcher being out of bullpen when a rotation isn't, like, they had a great start, but it's not like any brand name guys. Maton, the utility guy. When the White Sox decided we're going to DH him bat in 5th at a game I went to, I'm like, Austin Slater should be DHing. Vargas or Sosa Ramos should be DHing. Like, what are you doing? And then, of course, he played first base. I know he's a utility infielder, but first base is kind of a stretch when there are other guys in the White Sox who can't field their positions. But him leading off, that's fine. Baldwin, the game I went to, he played outfield his first career game. I'm like, Michael A. Taylor, Austin Slater, Jankowski. Like, why isn't any one of them playing the outfield? Like, stupid. And then Matt Tice, batting 5th is a little bit too high. But also, why are you playing this guy all the time? He was the reason why the White Sox lost last Saturday. He really was. Just Corey Lee has proven he's a good enough catcher. That's why you needed a backup catcher who can field and can't hit, so they would never have to worry about Corey Lee's playing time. Pittsburgh, Reynolds playing right field when he should be playing left field to accommodate Pham is stupid. But at least betting them 1 and 2, which they've both been successful in that spot, cool. Or batted third one time, that's not bad. Cruz playing center field. He's not a center fielder. He's made a lot of mistakes. He should be playing right field if he's playing the outfield. Joey Bart is a good comeback story with Pittsburgh, but he's not a cleanup hitter. Okay? And Gonzalez, I think, should be playing shortstop because that's his position. And Chirillo should be playing second base because IKF is not really a shortstop. Hayes is batted 8th. That's way too low. He should be the middle lineup for this team. Rodriguez, he's a catcher playing first base. Then Jason Bay and Adam Frazier playing the outfield when they're not outfielders. They're infielders. Frazier leading off is cool. And then Valdez playing the outfield and first base when he's an infielder. Like a middle infielder. Miami, Edwards and Stowers 1 and 2 is cool. Or Otto Lopez second. But Otto Lopez is not a 3 through 5 hitter. He's a utility journeyman guy. Myers and Hill are backup or bottom lineup hitters. So then batting 4 through 6 or DHing is stupid. And Sanjoa is an infielder playing the outfield. Minnesota, Waller, Correa, and Buxton as your 1 through 3. That's not a normal lineup. It really not. It's not stacking your best hitters. Stacking your best hitters would be Correa, Buxton, and Royce Lewis. That's not. Buxton did bat leadoff a few times, which is not bad. Mickey Gasser, I think he's a natural-born catcher, infielder playing the outfield. Willie Castro, another infielder playing the outfield, and they love to use him in a blowout. St. Louis, Contreras, I'm still going to go with the fact that they're paying all this money to play first base when he's a catcher, and to bat him second when he's supposed to protect Nolan Arenado. Herrera is a platoon catcher. 6 is way too high. Donovan, again, I know there's no room in the infield. He has to play the outfield. And then Matz is the starting pitcher who should be starting, not relieving. And Burleson, again, I don't know why he's second. That's not really his game. Detroit, I don't care if it's McKinstry or Ibanez leading off or second, whatever the case is. But Ibanez not a first baseman, and McKinstry's not an outfielder. Stop playing infielders in the outfield. Labor Torres, I don't understand why he was batting first or leadoff. That's not why Detroit got him. Riley Green, he's batted back and forth between second and third. Like, just keep him in one spot. Kreidler, infielder playing the center field. He's made some errors. Like, what are you doing? Carpenter, again, infielder playing the outfielder. Playing outfield. He's also not a two-hitter. Should be in the lineup. Malloy's also DHing. Why is he leading off? And then Maeda is the starting pitcher behind the bullpen. LA, Ohtani and Betts 1 and 2. I've had that issue. I think Mookie Betts should go back to leading off. And Ohtani should be third. And he's also not a shortstop, Mookie. Edmund, I liked him second, but not batting third, 5, or 6 because he's not a power hitter. And he's not a center fielder. He's an infielder. Rojas, if he's going to play second base for his glove work, then just swap him with Mookie Betts. Teoscar Hernandez, when they didn't bet Betts one day second, they put him. Like, no, he's supposed to be in the lineup. Pa has a glove first. Players think it's way too high. And with Freeman hurt, you'd think Muncy would slide over to first base or something like that. No, let's put Kike Hernandez at shortstop at first base. Cubs. Ian Happ and Tucker or say Suzuki in the 1 and 2 spots, and then Tucker moved down to third. No, what are you doing? That should be your 3 through 5. That's a scary 3 through 5. It really is. Swanson and Nico batting 5th and 6th is, again, glove first players. And then PCA. And what you're doing is if Swanson and Horner and PCA and rookie Matt Shaw and Amaya or Carson Kelly's at the inner lineup, it's not that scary. Okay, and Colin Ray pitching on the bullpen when I thought he was going to start for them. And they lost the DH with maneuvering. Arizona, Marte and Carroll 1 and 2 or Perdomo 2nd makes the most sense. Speed and contact. Because they lost the DH maneuvering, they had to have Ryan Nelson, who was a starting pitcher last year, who was relieving for them, pitching, and he had an RBI. Arizona. Rooker is supposed to be in the middle of the lineup with Langoliers and Soderstrom and Seth Brown when he played. Like, that's supposed to be the middle lineup. It's not the scariest, but that's what it's supposed to be. And J.D. Bleday is a really good center fielder, and they really like him, but he's not a middle lineup hitter. Swap those two. And at Duar, I've been over this. He's an infielder playing the outfield. And look what the HS did. They got rid of Ruiz, who could lead the league in stolen bases, and now he's on the Dodgers out of all teams. Like, what are you doing? Mariners, Robles leading off, and Julio Rodriguez, too, is not bad. It's just Robles was such a bad hitter in Washington. I don't trust him in the leadoff spot. And Julio Rodriguez, I would probably put him third. And then Polanco going back and forth between second and third. Make up your mind. Seattle, just pay attention. And then Tampa Bay. Curtis Mead leading off, or Yandy Diaz are batting second when Yandy Diaz should be in the middle lineup and Curtis Mead's at third baseman, so he's not a speed guy. He's also playing first base because they gave Yandy Diaz a day off, and they're playing Caminero, a shortstop, at third base. Morel is an infielder playing the outfield when he should be playing the infield. Caballero, utility guy, playing the outfield. Rondo playing first base when he's a second baseman. Brandon Lau batting third when I think 2 is a great spot for him. And then Taylor Walls is a glove first player. Should not be batting 5th. And then lastly, Colorado. Goodman, I'm glad that they're letting him catch a few days a week with Stallings, platooning, and he's not playing the outfield. Doyle and Tovar in the 1 and 2 spot is great. Thanks again for listening to Week 1 of the 2025 MLB Observation. For On the Red Table Blog, I'm Radar. See you guys next time.